What's up, everybody? Today on podcast number 8. Yes, we're finally on number 8 here. We have a special guest, Linzey Rae, a content creator, the vocalist of a female-fronted metalcore band, The Anchor. And I say female-fronted metal band because I saw in your About Me that you actually like more or less promote female-fronted as like that staple there. And I know a lot of people don't really... there was like a meme out there saying like female fronted is not a genre kind of thing, but like I just think it's really cool how like you display a powerful voice for women everywhere. And yes, I stole that from your About You as well.
Yeah, I know that that's a hot topic, at least on like whether or not it's appropriate to label yourself as that. But I feel that because women are so underrepresented in metal specifically, like I see it more as like celebrating the fact that we're female fronted. And, it's, of course I want to be recognized as a musician before a female, but, given the genre that we're in, there's just not a ton of us. So what the heck, might as well celebrate it,
Of course, yeah, embrace it. I feel like it's kind of like a search topic as well. People are looking for that kind of stuff. You see bands like Ginger, Spirit Box, the big female fronted metal band, as you will. Right. I just think it's really cool that you guys do embrace that. And I had a girl on my podcast as well. She goes by Full Metal Jess. She does some covers. She's got bright red hair, big on TikTok as well. A lot of my guests have been like from TikTok, which has been great. But she is also she had like some things to say about it too, and just really embracing kind of like that powerful voice as for women. And it's just kind of cool to hear a woman's perspective being in the metal scene like this, especially we see a lot of metal bands with very male dominant era of people just kind of being there at shows and stuff like that. But I think things are changing now, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
You see like Lorna Shore right now, and like they sold out like the entire tour first and foremost. And it's cool because like I'm sure the reactor Metal Burb. Yeah. So he actually, I was listening to one of his podcasts as well. Shout out to that guy. But he was talking about like at the Lorna Shore show, there was a lot more females that were there. And it's just really cool to see like that it's just embracing it. And I think it was with Hardcore Keem. And he's like, well, look at Will. He's like this, this good looking dude on stage, that curly hair.
She like didn't really listen to metal very much, but she loved Amir because she thought Frankie was so hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, I hate metal, but I'll listen to their band because he's beautiful. And it's like, okay, whatever. Cool.
That's awesome. No, Amir is actually really good. I think I introduced my girlfriend a little bit into Amir as well. We're sitting at an amusement park waiting to go into line, and like, what was it? The Fire in the Sun or whatever. I see the fire in the sky. Dun, 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 dun. And we were blaring it, and like the people next door, or sorry, in the cars beside us were like looking at us like, this fucking metal couple that's going on over here. Yeah, Amir is sick. I really like that. But yeah, like as I was kind of saying, I had like this whole thing like played out, but I'm glad it's going in a different direction here, and that you're actually very talkative on this stuff. But yeah, so if you guys don't really know who Linzey is, she also is a content creator. So she has some really cool series on a couple different things, one being Metal Kitchen, where she's like making pulled pork, shepherd's pie, burgers, and more stuff while using the structures of songs such as Rip and Tear from Doom, Attack Attack, Atreyu, Miss May I, and Born of Osiris as well, which is another one of my favorite bands. So I think this conversation is going to go really good, and your concept around that is just fantastic. And I think that's kind of like where you got like your foot off the ground in the whole content creating world, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was, oh my gosh, it was so long ago. This is like totally going to date me. But I think we uploaded the first one like 6 years ago. And we just like kind of did it on a whim. Like we were just kind of doing YouTube, like just for fun. And like we were trying to teach ourselves how to do recordings. So we were just doing covers here and there. And there was like no intention for it to become anything. And I remember we uploaded the first Metal Kitchen, and then I went up to my parents' house on New Year's Eve, and I started getting all these like notifications about like this video, and like I woke up the next morning and it had like 1 million views. So it was like we just went viral overnight. And we kind of got like catapulted into this like content creator, YouTuber lifestyle, which had a set of challenges, you know, because we wanted to be a band first, not a content creator above that, you know? So we really tried to be intentional of like affiliating me with the anchor and not just like making it like, this is Linzey Rae and then this is the anchor. Like we're kind of this whole package. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's opened up so many doors for us. And, you know, even though it happened so long ago, it's crazy that people are still finding it and finding a lot of joy in it. And, you know, something that was just so random and stupid that we put up, like, ended up being like a really positive thing for us and for a lot of other people too. So
for sure. And you guys leaned into it as well. So I think that was a really smart move, especially being in the content creator world where, you know, algorithm just picks up on these weird things. So you just kind of dive in on all that stuff. But I think it was a fantastic thing that you guys did. Being on that topic though, like, are you still making some of these recipes? Like, do you have a recipe book or anything for all these things that you made?
Awful. Don't make them.
Oh no.
I can't cook to save my life. That's the thing that's like the funniest thing about this is that I'm a god awful cook. And it was like we just found a random recipe on the internet and like put it into lyrics. And even if you like pause the video on like the finished meal, it's not appetizing. Like I just, you know, and I even like there was some dude in like Sweden that was like, oh, like I want to sign Metal Kitchen and have you like make a cookbook. And I'm like, nah, man, you don't want me to make a cookbook. I can't cook. Like, you won't sell anything.
I was gonna say, like, that was a great marketing idea right there. Just start selling cookbooks. Get some aprons for merch and stuff like that. That'd be freaking sick. No, that's really cool. You also have some other like a kind of series as well, like Pop Goes Metal, which I love that series. Scream It Like a Girl, and you actually have some like reactions and vlogs and stuff on your channel. And I know I messaged you before we kind of jumped on this, and I just want to say, like, I think it's really cool that you do whatever the heck you want as well on your channel. I think that's one of the things that I've kind of struggled with. I mean, I do a lot of metal reactions and stuff like that. I've been trying to get into like vlogs and podcasts. Podcasts have been great. It's just a really good conversation that I can kind of put more content into my channel. But I think it's really cool that you're doing that. So like with the Scream It Like a Girl, I think is a fantastic thing. And Pop Goes Metal. So you're a big pop, like punk rock kind of girl as well, if I'm not mistaken, like Newfound Glory and all that.
Yeah, my Spotify rap for this year, I think my #1 artist was like Britney Spears and One Direction. So
what? I was not going to say that at all.
Pop is like my shit, man.
Wow, that's really cool to hear, though, because like I know even some of your new stuff that you have coming out, which we're going to be talking about in this podcast as well, that you do a lot more singing in this as well. So I'm guessing that might have a little bit more of an influence in your new music that's coming out. I haven't done my Spotify my rap yet, but I think it's going to be like mainly like Blink-182 and Newfound Glory.
No shame at all. Classic.
Yeah, it is very classic. But again, if you guys don't know Linzey here, she is from Denver, Colorado. I know, I'm Canadian. I had to like kind of stutter my way through that for some reason, but I know exactly where that is. Your YouTube channel has 98,000 subscribers on it. You're so close to that play button. Guys, if you're watching, please go subscribe. Let's get her to the 100,000. Let's get that plaque right up there. It just needs to be sitting on that wall up there. But it's cool because you guys have a really good, cool following as well. You have 15,000 following on your personal and your band's page as well. 63,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And you actually have a couple songs over 500,000. And your one song, Rip and Tear, has over 1 million, which is insane.
It does.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I wanted to say that because like I think it's really cool to really know where a band stands as well in terms of those numbers. I mean, I feel like nowadays it might be a little bit different just because of how viral things are going. And I think I can kind of, I guess, speak for that because like even my TikTok overnight, I had one video that went viral. It's got like 6.2 million views on one video. and like my follower account on TikTok went from like what was it, like 150,000 to like 280, like in a matter of a month. Yeah, so it's insane how like this new content creation world is, and even Instagram as well. I went from like 6,000 subscribers on Instagram to like 40,000 now in the last month. So yeah, it's insane. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna keep doing it.
I think the hard lesson that we had to learn, because we've been doing this for almost like 10 years now. We're just like geriatric at this point in terms of musicians and content creators. But the hard lesson that we had to learn was that like the numbers aren't everything. Yeah. It's like the type of engagement that you get. Like it's, even though we don't have like the biggest following on all of these like platforms, the people who do follow us are like, we know them all pretty well because we've like interacted with most of them, and like, we've seen them constantly interact with our content. So like we've been able to like build relationships with them, which has been really cool. So like my unsolicited advice to you as a new and growing content creator is like, just embrace the people that are engaging with you and make friends with them, because those are the people that are going to be your ride or dies 10 years from now.
100%. I'm glad you brought that up as well, because I wanted to kind of dive in there as like you just kind of learning all this stuff, and you're a little bit more like experienced in this stuff. I mean, like I had a little bit of a past as well with a little bit of the Twitch world back in the day, but even that, like now just doing this for myself and noticing that, and I've noticed a lot of other content creators that I talk to as well, they're not into the whole comments and DMs and stuff like that. I feel like they just kind of play it cool kind of deal. And for me and myself, like, I mean, there's been times where, I don't feel like doing DMs, and it got overwhelming as well. Yeah. Like, and when stuff started like picking up, I'm like, so many DMs that I'm like, I can't get to all of these DMs and stuff. But I try to have these conversations and take some time at nighttime just to kind of like connect with people. And I think it's very key, like you said, that ride or die kind of fan base that you have that will keep you going and will be there for the next thing that you post. So I think it's really cool that you actually mentioned that and acknowledge that. Even being a content creator, it must be different as well. Like I know you've been doing this for quite some time on YouTube and that, but I kind of want to know, like, what are some of the struggles that you might have, maybe they're not struggles, but like, what have you been learning along the way about like the new era of like TikTok to like the way the algorithm is working for Reels and stuff like that? Like, are you adapting to it? Because I feel like there's a lot of bands that aren't tapping into that stuff.
We're trying our best. We're all fucking old now though, and like TikTok makes zero sense to us, and we're trying the best we can, but I'm not gonna sit here and talk like I know what the algorithms. I knew what they were like 5 years ago. So if you know the secret to that, like let me know, because we're trying to do it too. The only thing that I have noticed with TikTok, which don't quote me on this because I don't know if there's facts to it, but whenever we first started our TikTok, it's like your fifth video explodes and you have this like crazy viral moment, and then it like goes away. And it seems like every new account, they're like pushing one video because they're like, cool, we need to keep like viral content going on people's For You pages. And then you get all these views and you're like, oh my God, it's happening. And then it just like flatlines.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, is that like, did we not post the right content? Is it like TikTok?
You question everything.
Everything. And I think that's like probably one of the worst parts about being a content creator is this like constant need for affirmation and validation through comments and views. Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous. And I think that that's another thing that TikTok does to us. You get this one viral video and like you're hooked. You're like, I need to put out the next best thing. And I'm like, and honestly, I felt the same, especially after my one big viral video as well. I posted a couple after that, and it got quite a bit of views on each post and stuff too. It was going between like 100 to like 200, 300, up to like 500. And then one day it just went, pew, like
Yeah.
1,000. I had one, or it was like 3 days. I had like 800 views. I'm like, what did I do? Like, I'm like, and it's still pushing on my big video. I'm like, okay, stop. I want more content out there, not just the one that's feeding through.
Yeah.
That's
because we live in an era where it's like everybody's a content creator now. And there's just so much content being pushed onto the internet that it's no longer really about quality. It's more about quantity, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is hard because, you know, for people who are artistic and trying to make like art out of their content, like the amount of work that you put in isn't worth like what you get paid back from it. Like it would just be easier to make garbage content frequently than it would to make good content. And like that's what sucks about this like instant gratification like culture we live in now, is that like it's no longer about consuming art, it's just consuming to consume.
You're absolutely right. I feel like that is what it is. Like I'm in a Discord with a bunch of reactors as well, and we talk about this stuff, and there's a couple big people in there, like Charismatic Voice and the husband that runs that like behind the scenes. He's always in there kind of giving us tips and stuff like that, how to like, you know, what YouTube is really looking for. And it's like, you know, CTR, click-through rate, watch time and stuff like that. And it's so much different for like some of us reactors as well, where we're like, our watch time, you know, it's an 8-minute video, but only people watch like the 2.5 minute for the song reaction, and it just destroys our video. So like algorithm is just insane for that. So like the instant gratification, and they even, the couple of people have said in there too, it's like, you know, 1 video a day, if that, or like maybe 4 videos a week. And I'm like, man, I need to jump on the next big thing, this and that, get it out. But then there's the TikTok era and the Reels, which I like to post a lot of content. Like I'm posting right now maybe 3 to 4 times a day with new reactions. That's what I mean. I'm like, I'm go. I mean, it's kind of easy for me as well. Like I do like Twitch streams. I have people come on and like show me some songs, and I'm reacting one song after another over like 40 songs in one day. So like I'll throw them in a drive so I can download them on my phone, and then like at bedtime, I'm a workhorse first and foremost. But like I'll be in there like just editing a couple videos for the day just to post out so I can focus on my stuff here. Like it's just go. But some stuff takes off and some stuff doesn't, and it's that instant gratification that just like I feel like can ruin this generation as well. Mm-hmm. And it sucks to hear. It really does. But going forward here, though, like, I mean, you guys have a lot of cool content. First off, TikTok, your stuff on TikTok has been so fun to watch. Your studio stuff has been so cool. Like, even just seeing your setup, you guys got like moving blankets around your like vocal booth and everything. I'm like,
and above me, there's hooks in the ceiling, and we literally we punched holes in moving blankets.
Yeah.
And then we just like hang up the moving blankets, and that's our like little vocal booth, you know? Like we're DIY as it gets.
Honestly, I think I have more respect for the the do-it-yourself kind of era. I feel like I was kind of that person too when I was in bands. I'm like, you know, you kind of put some mics into the computer and this and that, but you guys actually know what the heck you're doing.
Like, we're just really good at faking it.
Really good at faking it.
We have no idea what the fuck we're doing. It's just sometimes we get lucky and we're like sick, and then we move on.
No, but it sounds good. Like, I honestly think you guys do know what you're doing. Like, my personal favorites from you guys is definitely One More Day, I think, is one of my favorites. For one, the music video. It's just fantastic. The pillow fights just blew my mind apart. I'm like, this, I want to be at that show. And it obviously had that Urch in it too. So I'm like, and you had like a little bit of live stuff incorporated into that video too. I do like that in some stuff, and you guys made it fit very well with that. But how I kind of discovered you guys was through Rose. I think that was like one of my first reactions, and kind of picked up on you guys. And ever since that, I'm like, okay, I definitely need to keep an eye on you guys. So going forward from that, like you guys have just dropped a new song called Let It Down, which is awesome. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you guys like gearing up for a whole album release in the next year, or?
Kind of. We're doing, I might get in trouble for saying this because I don't know if this is proprietary knowledge, but we're kind of X-naying the whole album. thing.
Oh.
We're just doing singles. And then, you know, once we've released 10 singles, we're probably going to bunch it together and release it as an album on Spotify. But, you know, we have found for our own sanity, it has been easier to like do 4 songs at a time and then do all the music videos at once, which is why like all of our music videos are in the same spot, because we're just like, we need to make this efficient and easy. And, you know, then we just release them like every month, and we already have the content ready, and we just like spend a month working our asses off. And then we just get to chill for like 6 months and then do it all over again, rather than spending like a whole year writing an album. And, you know, there's just, it's just so hard to write a whole album, man. Like, it's a lot. So we're doing, we have like 6 more songs that we have in the works, but they're going to be released over the next year. We're not going to be dropping them all at once. So.
No, I think it's really cool that you're doing that. I mean, there is obviously a benefit for you guys in terms of releasing, maybe, you know, getting stuff ready for 4 months, chill for a little bit. But I've always wondered about that kind of concept as well. Like, you guys are basically going to release all these songs as singles, as what I'm kind of gathering right now. Do you think there's going to be a benefit for that? Because I think there would be. I think you guys kind of can like prepare people like and throughout. And here's my logic on this. You're going to be releasing this throughout the whole entire year. You might have 10 songs that you want to get out on this album. You're going to be releasing singles. You already have, I think, 4 out now. And it's like you're keeping yourselves in people's ears every so often. So to me personally, I think it's a great marketing strategy for people like myself that like want to react to singles. Because honestly, I react to the singles and then I do album reviews and I put them on Patreon. So, I mean, like, even for a marketing aspect too, it's like, you're probably going to get each single out there from me.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, the thing that we, and even like bigger bands have been starting, like Memphis Mayfire has been doing it too. And, you know, it's just, nobody buys physical CDs anymore. So there's no point in releasing full albums, you know, and especially going back to what we were talking about, living in a world of instant gratification and having to just constantly pump out content, you know, rather than waiting a year and being silent to write an album, you just kind of do it throughout. And then while we're writing on these like 4 songs that we're releasing, we've been working on the next 4, and it's kind of like this cycle of like, we're never going to necessarily be quiet because we always have something that's like ready to come in, you know. So it's been our way of adapting to this new environment that we're in, especially, you know, as an older band that grew up in a different era of social media. Whenever we first like started getting attention, like we've really had to like take a step back and be like, okay, like, how can we, you know, not have to like change ourselves, you know, and be something that we're not, but, you know, be adaptable to like what's happening around us.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I guess like it kind of goes in the way of like those brick and mortar kind of businesses as well. Like if you're not on Facebook, TikTok and this and that, like that competition is going to crush you kind of thing. Not that it's all about competition in terms of music and stuff like that. You guys are going to do what you want to do to get your music out there. But I think other bands should be taking the exact same approach, in my opinion. I think you guys are doing it right. I think it's really cool that you guys are taking a step back and realizing what's going on there in social media. I think there's still a few bands that, you know, are still kind of in that, you know, selling CDs kind of stuff. But like even that, like you release all these albums, obviously you're going to get the ad revenue off your music videos and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't pay a ton. I think we both know that as like content creators and stuff like that.
Like, this is just like feeding our souls. Like, this is a very expensive hobby.
Yeah, a very expensive hobby. I think that's a great way of putting it. But like you're gonna get like the people coming out as well and like the shows, and then you can sell like vinyl records and stuff like that, those collectibles. And if you're doing things properly, like you were saying earlier before, connecting with your audience, comments, DMs and stuff like that, building those physical relationships with people in terms of like just being there, saying what's up. Like people, I think we talked about this with Jess when she came on here, Full Metal Jessie. She was talking about like even just playing your heart out at a show that only has maybe like 20 people at it, those 20 people there, you probably saved like, you know, maybe 3 of those people's lives in the terms of like your lyrics and stuff like that. And they really want to be there for you. So I think it's really cool that you guys are actually noticing that. And I think bands, if you're listening, take note of this.
You know, right now, like we never, I mean, maybe a couple people in my band wanted to like fuck bitches and make money, but at least like the majority, we didn't get in a band because we were like, we're going to be rock stars. Like, you know, we just did it because we like to do it. And I think, you know, since the beginning, we've made like lifelong friendships with people who have like connected with us over our music. And, you know, it's never been about like trying to make money or trying to make it big. It's been like this experience. And like looking back, like, you know, sure, we're not the biggest band on the planet, but like I've done really cool things with my best friends, and I've made really cool friends along the way. And, you know, it's just, I think it's really easy to lose touch with the fact that like, one, we're all just human beings, you know, and 2, you're an entertainer. So like you need to be entertaining at your shows, but 3, at the end of the day, like we're doing this for community and connection.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it all boils down to, is that if you aren't connecting with people, what is the point?
100%. I definitely agree. And I see other big bands actually doing it too. Like even, I mean, you see like Lorna Shore, Will's been connecting with some people doing podcasts and that, even architects, Sam Carter. And what I found for me personally is, you know, the Gloom in the Corner. I've worked really cool relationships with like the record labels and that. And even Chris Motionless from Motionless in Moya, like I DM'd him yesterday. I did his Christmas song that was like from 16 years ago. And I kid you not, these lyrics in this were like, you know, your stocking, it was a Christmas song. It was like, your stocking is full of razor blades and hand grenades, and I'm going to come on your face tonight. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so I sent him the video after I posted it. I'm like, Chris, he's like, dude, he's like, dude, I'm like, he's like, we've been trying to escape this video all of our career. Like, I hate when it pops up again. I'm like, all in fun. I mean,
everybody's got the one that they're like, oh God, why?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's nuts. But I know you are a busy girl and going through school. So like even the way that you guys are doing stuff, I think this is very beneficial for you as well. You are going to school, and I'm not familiar. What are you going to school for? If you don't have to tell us, but sorry, say again.
Nursing. So
nursing.
Yeah, so we like to we're just a band of a bunch of regular Joes. We all have jobs. Like Corey's a plumber, and Sham does like data entry, and Ryan is some kind of like insurance broker. Like, you know, this is what we do to feed our souls, and then we go to our day jobs. And so I was a teacher before this. I taught middle school language arts, and then decided I wasn't super into that, so I left. Won't go into the politics of that, but so then I just went into nursing because I want to do unhinged shit in an ER and fly around in helicopters. So
fly around in helicopters, that's awesome. Why'd you get into this career? I just want to fly around in helicopters. I don't blame you.
I'm too old to do the military, so like my only other shot is being a flight nurse. So
yeah, I guess that's specific, very specific as well. That's kind of cool, actually. My girlfriend also works in the hospital, and she does like purchasing for like OR and stuff. So like I know the craziness. And here in Canada, like our healthcare system is just getting destroyed right now. So yeah, I told her, I'm like, yo, let's go to the States, because I hear they're like really looking for like nurses and stuff like that, and it pays really good for like just being like kind of on call. You could like literally pick up after 3 months and go somewhere else. And yeah, I heard it's a really good kind of gig for that. So
yeah.
No, that's good. Like how are you? I mean, I guess this is kind of like how you're juggling stuff anyway. I guess you have your full-time stuff with work and school like that, but kind of getting this stuff kind of like a couple songs out here and there. But that going forward, like I don't know how I was going to say this. Fuck, my first fuck up. I guess, yeah, you kind of walked us through that, as I was kind of saying. But going forward with your new album and stuff like that, or like new singles on singles, what can we expect going forward with the Anchor? Because, I mean, I listened to Melissa Chrysler, which was a great song, but it was very like, I guess like post-hardcore, like easycore kind of jam, which was very different from like Through Rose. So tell us what's going on with that.
Well, much like our YouTube channel, we do whatever the fuck we want. Because nobody can tell us no.
Yep.
Which has been the beauty of being, independent and DIY, is that we just get to do what we feel like doing. And, it is going to be just as random and all over the place as the last 4 have been. So we have like a couple more that are like heavier, and then we've got like, we have a song with like synth in it for the first time ever. Ooh. And like, we're just kind of exploring, we're just finding ourselves.
I hear that. I feel like that's just like life right now, especially after the pandemic. It's just like, what should we do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. And what's interesting too is that, I mean, honestly, like the pandemic is kind of what sparked this whole way of doing things. Because I think once we were literally forced to stop, it forced us to be like, okay, what was working about this? What wasn't? And I think we kind of came to the realization that the like grinding and trying to like get approval and like make it as a band was like killing us. So we just had to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's just make it easy for us, and what happens and what's the point if we're not enjoying it, and like being creative and doing what we initially set out to do.
Yeah, I think you guys are definitely doing it the right way. I honestly think you are. Like, even with your recording stuff on TikTok and like posting it on other socials too, it's like, it's extra content. And I was kind of digging through your channel as well, and you have vlog videos and stuff too of your tours. And I did that as well when I was in like punk rock bands. I had like 5-day tour across Ontario. I'm just like, I grew up watching, the Blink-182, tour vlog videos, Sum 41 and stuff like that. So like just the crazy chaos that you guys are doing on tour, which I think is a lot of fun. I just think that's cool content. And even though like it might not have very many views or anything like that, like you said, like just going back again, the hardcore people that are like really attached to you guys and you build relationships are going to watch that thing. And I think I've like, even just digging through your channel a bit, I really am inspired by that, because for myself, like, yeah, I could do, the next, big song, or which I do, but like I love like just finding a new band, and the people that do like my channel and respect that and like putting new bands in front of them, they just, they know that I'm going to put something good in front of them. And it's just that really good connection that I have. So I think it's really cool that you guys are doing it. So keep doing what you're doing. I think it's cool. And I just love seeing the journey that you guys have through it.
Yeah.
So what is the story about the Anchor? Like, I mean, I think you were saying at the beginning, the Anchor came first and then you kind of fell into the Metal Kitchen stuff? Okay.
Oh, originally I was the bassist.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't play bass worth shit anymore, but it's cool. I haven't picked up a bass in like 8 years, but yeah. So I was bass first, and we like got one of our first like really big like national act shows with Hatebreed.
Oh, sick.
Which we were like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing ever. And our vocalist at the time couldn't do the show, but we were like, we want to do this show. And I guess there is some drama there. I don't know. Uh-oh. Well, he left the band and we couldn't do the show anymore. And we were trying to find a replacement and we couldn't. And, I had done backups and everybody in the band was just like, you do backups, you just got to do it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it.
I don't want to be a front man.
Because we don't have an option and nobody can fill in. So like, you just got to do it.
Don't ruin this for us, Linzey.
I mean, it was like the sacrificial lamb, and like they just fucking threw my ass up there, and it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my fucking life, and kind of the rest is history from there. We we got off stage and they were like, cool, you're the vocalist now. And I'm like, what? No, like, this was just a one-time thing. Like, I'm supposed to be on bass. And so I had some resistance with it. But, you know, looking back, like, it was the right decision. Mm-hmm. And I think I really fell into what I was supposed to be in the band, and it worked out for the better. But, you know, once I, like, kind of embraced this, like, okay, now I'm the vocalist, and this is just the way shit's going. You know, we were also on the, like, we need to figure out how to do all this stuff ourselves, and we bought a 2-track, gosh, was it just like a Scarlett interface? I don't know, the thing was a piece of garbage. Yeah. And we had like some crappy ass mic that we bought, and we were like running it off of like Studio One demo or some shit, and like was recording like covers, you know, just to be like, okay, let's try to figure this out. Like, we got to figure out how to record ourselves. And, you know, then we fell into the YouTube thing because we were like doing that shit. And, you know, I think, the best way I could describe the Anchor is that it has just been a bunch of happy accidents. Ooh,
that's cool.
Our entire career has not been planned. It has all just kind of happened, and we've just had to roll with it.
I think that's a great story, to be honest. That's really cool to actually know about the whole bass thing and you getting thrown up on there. But yeah, Hatebreed it still is pretty big too. It's really cool that you got to do that and have those experiences. I mean, like you're continuing on these experiences of just even like your vocal covers and doing stuff with like Lauren Babick and that, and other people as well. I think it's really cool what you have. How did you come up with the Anchor as a band name?
So well, I guess I can give you some more backstory.
Okay,
if you want.
All right, more backstory. I like backstories. This is like I love this shit.
So me, Corey, and Ryan were in a band together called Of Ashes, and we were awful, but, you know, we all got to start somewhere. And that specifically was the band that we were like, we're going to fuck bitches and make money, but we did neither.
We're going to go Attila on this one.
yeah. Like, we thought we were going to be rock stars and be like, you know, living it up, and that did not happen. And then we were like, okay, we need to start over. So we like scrapped that band. And we were like, we need to change our perspective, because like doing this and trying to just like be famous is stupid. And like, that's not why we do music. That's not why we liked music. Like, all of our favorite bands, we didn't like them because they were famous. Like, we liked them because their music meant something to us. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for all of us, like, music has always been a place of refuge, and, you know, where we've been able to find understanding and solace in, you know, events in our lives. And when we were thinking about a band, we were like, okay, we want to be the band for other people that the bands that we loved growing up were for us. And we came to the conclusion to be the Anchor, because we were thinking of like, music is what anchors you through your storm. So let us be your anchor that anchors you through your storm, you know. And we really tried to be very positive and self-help. And, you know, even though we've gotten like a little bit darker in our themes as we have gone along, we still stay really true to like just acknowledging emotions and acknowledging different kinds of experiences, and, you know, validating those things for people that, you know, what you're going through, you know, you're not alone in it. People have been through it, and like, we hear you, we acknowledge you, like, we've been through these things too. And, you know, we're here to anchor you through it, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, you guys are normal people as well. Like, you guys go through the same everyday stuff as us people that are listening to your music as well. So I love that concept, and I noticed that you kind of like really say a lot of that in your bio and even in your descriptions in your videos too, which I think is really cool. And like, even for the first person coming to your videos and maybe looking through that, you know, you're just reassuring to these people like, look, we just want to be this band that, you know, that you could relate to. It's for everybody. There's no specific, you know, person that needs to listen to this. You know, it's wrapped around the punk rock, the hardcore, the old, you know, Parkway Drive kind of vibes as well, and it like wrapped into what you guys are as the Anchor. So I think that's a very cool concept and something that holds value in a band, in my sake. I think that's really good for you guys. I don't know, I got shivers just thinking about it. I'm like, this is what every band needs to be.
yeah. Well, and, you know, that's why we really tried to like not do the like rock star vibe. Like this might just be because we're lazy, but you know, when we play on stage and stuff, it's like I'm in leggings and a t-shirt, and you know, Corey's in running shoes and sweats, and you know, like we want to be really approachable because we are normal people, you know, and we want people to come talk to us. And you know, I feel like it can be kind of intimidating sometimes when there's like this larger than life kind of you know, people might be afraid to come talk to you because it's like you're not on the same level. And it's
that's so
you know, as we progress, and this has been an issue for us our entire career with the Anchor, is whenever we've tried to work with people, they're like, you guys don't have an image. Like, you guys need to have an image. Like, you know, either Linzey needs to dress this way, or, you know, you guys need to look like this. And we're like, no, like, the reason why we are doing well is because we are the way that we are. And we don't want to change that because this resonates with people. And, you know, if it didn't work, it wouldn't be working. And we've had to like have a lot of hard conversations with people and be like, no, we're not doing that because that's not us. And people would see right through it if we did.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad you guys are like standing your ground on that. Coming off of that, which is amazing. I'm glad you guys are who you are, because like I've seen bands kind of take that 360 as well. And like, even like, don't get me wrong, I love Bad Omens and stuff like that. And like Dayseeker, great bands. But when you start dressing up in like turtlenecks and looking like you're from an 80s movie, and like, it can be very intimidating. Like, I totally get it. So like, I think that's really cool. Like showing up and like, you know, dressing the way that you want to and just being comfortable. I mean, you guys, like you were saying, like, I mean, you guys are still entertainers as well on stage, but you guys are still real people. And I think that's really big. And coming off of that, like what you just said there, like, have you turned down like record labels because of that kind of stuff? Like, I mean, you guys are doing very well for what you're doing, but like, did record labels kind of come at you saying like, we'll sign you, but you got to make these changes kind of deal?
No, nobody wants us.
No, why? I would watch you guys.
I don't know. And this is the question that kept me up at night, and I just had to let it go. Like, okay, you know, I think you get it or you don't with us. And a lot of people in the industry didn't get it. And like we have like had conversations with labels and stuff, but it's always come down to like, you guys don't have an image. And we don't know how to fix that. And we're like, sick. I guess this isn't going to work then. So we've had to let that go of just like, we are going to be DIY forever. And that's totally fine. But you know, it's just weird. Like we've never had labels really beaten down the door for us. Yeah, which is interesting. But you know, then it kind of goes back to like, you have to look at the bigger picture of it. Like, sure, labels don't want us. At least like, you know, big major labels like Sumerian and all those guys, like they don't want us. But big picture, when you look at like the turnout at our shows and the comments and the engagement, it's like, okay, like they may not want us, but there are people that get it. And there's people that like really appreciate what we do. So at the end of the day, it like shouldn't matter if these people don't want us, because there are people that do. And the people that do matter.
I 100% agree. Even doing that, like, I'm kind of like learning a little bit more about the label side of things. I've had my kind of big chance as well, being signed by Universal Records. We had a PR agent keep an eye on us back in the day. And that was a fucking shitty story. I mean, it wasn't a shitty story, but like it just sucked that it didn't really happen the way that I wanted to. So we played like like punk rock, kind of like 4 Years Strong kind of stuff. A little, what's that thing? What's the band that's like, Dear Maria, count me in, this story at the bottom. What fucking band is that?
I know the song, but I can't think of it.
I know, right? I always sing it too, and it's like, fuck.
Hold on, Google it. Hold on.
All right.
I won't be able to concentrate it now. Tell me now who it is.
It's not.
Oh, man.
All day. No.
All Time Low.
That's what it is. Yeah. So like we were kind of like that kind of band and got like picked up on, and then the PR agent, like we did a battle of the bands and we got screwed for our show. Like there's too many bands that were like taking too much time. So we had 3 songs we had to play. We played our heart out, choreography and everything. We're doing the Running Man, this and that. And this guy comes up to us after the show and it was like one of those like big moments where like you have a label come up to you and you're like, yeah, I really want to keep an eye on you guys. Go record some stuff, keep an eye on you guys for 6 months and we'll see where you guys are at. And like the whole band just fell apart after that. I'm like, why? Yeah. What happened? So yeah, it kind of sucked in that way, but it was just, in my perspective and kind of what I'm learning about like labels and that, yeah, I guess they have the backing and money to kind of put into you guys, but like, is it really worth it in today's world to be signed? That's my next question.
Right. And that's the other conversations that we've had too, is that like, we are so DIY and we have made ourselves so self-sufficient that like really all a label could do for us is either A, give us money or like help us with PR. But we're going to owe them for all that stuff. And then they own like 70% of our music and then we're not making any money anymore. And, it's a very double-edged sword. Yeah. And I think, the beauty of the internet is, it's a blessing and a curse because it can ruin your fucking life, but it does give the little guys a chance. And had we had been a band before the internet, I don't think we would have had as good of a shot as we did. Because back then it's like you needed the label because they were the ones that were kind of gatekeeping, like putting people out in front of the audiences. And on the internet, like, can do it yourself now. There is no gatekeeping.
Yeah, and even the algorithms and stuff in social media right now are way different than what they were before. Like even MySpace, when I was in a band, I was like, following everybody and like sending them DMs and check out my band, this and that. There's still like bands that do all that kind of stuff, which I respect the grind. Trust me, don't get me wrong.
I could not.
Yeah, that's like door knocking on social media wise. But I think it's definitely a different era now. And as much as I love the labels that I work with, but like even they're still hitting us up with, can you do a reaction for this band, this and that and that and this. But like, again, like it's not the labels that I only do stuff with. I like that stuff. So I kind of like consider myself, even though I'm a reaction channel, I'm kind of like that PR as well. And I had this conversation with Johnny from the Browning. I was on his podcast and we talked about it a bit. And he's talking about like, he's like, did you ever wonder about like working for a label? I'm like, I don't think I would work for a label, but I would like maybe contract myself out. But he's like, you guys are like the future of PR. Like you guys know it works. You guys know exactly like what bands need to be doing to get their name out there. And it really comes down to like, if you are going to be doing this for yourself, not being signed, learn social media. And I've seen bands get signed from this. There was a band that I've done some videos. My girlfriend found a Halloween song from this band, very like Ice Nine Kills, Motionless in White kind of style. They go by Dark Divine, and very a younger band. And then they got signed off of 2 songs that they had out and like 1,500 followers on TikTok. And it was actually like the old owner of Fearless Record, which like now kind of owns like Thrasher and In Vogue Records, that picked them up. So it's like, it's really cool to see like even after that, pouring your heart out and doing some content and stuff, like it's just way more opportunity now doing it yourself.
Right. Yeah, totally.
It's nuts. And I think you guys, I kind of wish like, not that I wish, like I kind of hope that you guys don't go with a label, because I think I have a lot more respect for like a band that like is doing everything for themselves. And I think that's just from what I've known about record labels, and they own your music and this and that, they own your soul.
Yeah.
So,
and we're definitely like fickle beings, I guess is a good way to describe us. We're all like adults, we're all pretty set in our lives, and the way that we do the band works for all of us, and it allows us to not get burnt out, and it's something that we still all genuinely love doing. And that's what matters, is that it's fun for us still, and we've been able to do it in a way that has prevented us from hating each other.
That's good. I think that kind of leads into my next question. Is there like, how is it like touring with a bunch of dudes as well? Like, like.
Smell like shit, but oh my god, I would take a bullet for every single one of them. Like they're just they're a bunch of fucking weirdos, but they're my weirdos, you know?
Yes.
And I think that's what's cool. You know, it's funny too, is we got teased on tour a lot by, you know, bands we go out with, because we're very wholesome. We like listen to Disney songs in the van, and we all like, we have every meal together. Like we sit down and eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner together as like a family. And
that's
like,
awesome.
We're just so wholesome. And like when we get hotels, we're all like sharing the same bed. We're like all the like dwarves in the bed with their like feet hanging out of the product.
We could only afford one bed in this hotel, so we're all jammed in one bed.
So it's it helps that they are genuinely my best friends.
That's
and they've
awesome.
been my best friends for years.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think it's really cool seeing that. And I thought about that. It's like you being a girl and just being in a van full of dudes. I'm like, there's got to be farting and fucking just smelling like musky dudes. And this, haven't showered for a couple of days because there hasn't been a gym to stop at. And
we have a term called Kirbying, which this might be TMI, but I'm going to share it anyway.
I don't care. I'm not monetizing. I'm not in the monetizing world.
To be courteous, if you fart, you have to Kirby your own fart.
Kirby your, like you have to suck it in like Kirby?
Yeah, like think about Kirby and what he does. You have to do that when you fart. I don't know if there's science to it, but...
Science? What is the science behind this? Like, I need to know now. Get one of these guys on the call. I need to know this. Kirby your own fart. It's that kind of I was gonna go into something else that might have been like more TMI, but I guess there's that the thing when you fart and you put somebody underneath the blanket. Pardon?
A Dutch oven.
The Dutch oven. Yeah, I didn't really want to say it in case like someone got offended. It is 2022, so sorry you cut out there.
Does it have a different name now?
Is that what? Sorry?
Does it? I didn't know that they changed the name to it.
No, they didn't change the name. I just thought with being like, I don't know,
right.
2022, yeah. People might get offended about saying the Dutch oven. Yeah.
Well, that's just too. I don't know if you've heard of that.
The what? Sorry?
Cupcaking.
No, I've never heard of that.
You fart in your hand and you feel it.
Oh, cupping. Yeah, I have heard of that before.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be great clickbait for this. Talking about farts and...
Farts are always funny. It doesn't matter how old you get. They're always funny.
100%. 100%. Oh, man, that's really cool. That's really cool. So going on now, what inspired you to kind of like start documenting everything on YouTube? Like what kind of got you into that? I mean, like you were in a band and kind of got thrown on stage with Hatebreed, but like what made you start like making content and like even documenting everything?
Well, I mean, we did all of the covers because we were trying to teach ourselves how to record. And then the Metal Kitchen thing was just like this stupid idea that we had where we were like, I can't even remember. It was like, we were joking about the fact that like everybody says you can't understand metal music. And we were like, yeah, you could be like screaming about cooking or cookies or whatever, and nobody would be the wiser. So we were like, oh my God, let's make a video out of that. You know, and then it just kind of went from there. As far as like the blogs and stuff, I honestly kind of started making those for me. Oh. Because like, you know, when I'm all old and haggard and shit, I can be like, see, I was cool one time. And, you know, it is fun to every now and then go back and be like, oh, I remember that, you know, because like so much shit just happens. You just like forget everything. And
True.
I honestly make those vlogs for us. It's kind of like our little family video reel.
Man, I go back to some of my old tour videos when I was like 17 years old, and it's like throwing berries and running around in hotel parking lots, setting shit on fire. And it's like, man, those were the days. So it's really cool to like really have those memories and stuff like that for sure. Yeah. And, you know, in case, and if you do have a little kid running around and they start mouthing you off saying, you're not cool, mom, or, you know, dad, like what, you're not anything. It's like, you sit down and watch this video, man. I was setting shit on fire. I was cool.
From the start, they was all like sitting down at dinner and getting smoothies and stuff. They're gonna be like, "Dad, you're still not cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah, look at you guys. You guys were using napkins. What? Where did you learn to scream? Like, kind of like, I mean, you were kind of doing backup vocals and stuff like that. But like, what like either inspired you to scream and or like sing? Like, did you take lessons? Or were you inspired by just maybe the bands you're listening to?
I am completely self-taught.
Okay.
I've taken one lesson in my life, and it was from, Cardivox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, super cool dude. But that was like maybe a year ago during COVID that I was like, let's just try it, see what happens.
I've been seeing bands do that now.
Yeah.
With Cardivox, and then there's another guy as well. He's always wearing that big BLEGH Energy shirt, long curly hair. He's like big on TikTok and stuff too, but he's on tour right now with like Ryan Kirby and Fit Working. Sorry, I interrupt.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about. You know, I just always listen to that music. So I was like, I want to make this sound. And it was just like years of sounding awful and doing it in my car and like, you know, just like trying. And I didn't really like start getting super into it until I like joined that band with Corey and Ryan, because I was like, I guess I can do backup. So then I like practiced there. But I didn't sing at all. I didn't start singing until we actually like released our first album as The Anchor, because our clean singer was unable to do the cleans. So again, they were like, guess what, Lindsey, sacrificial lamb. And they made me do it. And I had to learn how to like sing and hold a pitch and stuff to like record on the album.
Was that the guy that you did the Miss May I?
Yeah. So we ended up moving to Tennessee, and he couldn't come back in time to record his parts. So they were like, okay, I guess you're just going to do it then.
Yeah.
So theme of the story here is I'm doing everything against my send help, please.
I'll try.
So, I mean, it's just been kind of like a happy accident that has just happened over time, and there was no intention or intent to be good at it or do anything with it. It just happened. And I've just been teaching myself over the years that I've been in the band.
No,
that's probably not the greatest thing.
No, that's really cool. Like even along the way, like I'm sure you've learned a lot, maybe ruined your voice a little bit, possibly. I have no idea, but like, I guess you're just more or less like YouTube kind of taught. Am I fair to say that?
Oh, I sat in my car and made noises. Like,
so you don't even know if you're making the right moves right now with your voice.
Right. So the one thing that I've been trying to explain, because I'm trying to teach Adam, our drummer, how to scream right now, and actually he's doing pretty good with it. It's like doing vocal compression is like the most unnatural feeling on the planet, and it's uncomfortable. But there's like this sweet spot, and I don't know where it is, but once you hit that sweet spot, you know, because you're like, oh, that didn't hurt anymore. And then it's like riding a bike, and then you can never go back. So it's like once you find that like sweet spot, you're like, cool, it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm not losing my voice. Like, shit's good. But, you know, it took me like 4 years of doing it to get to that.
100%. I even for me, like I grew up watching the Melissa Cross videos.
Okay,
yeah, learning the fry screams and like seeing like Paul go through his journey with Melissa, and it's like that was really cool and like kind of like got me into like I guess more of the vocal side of things when I was doing vocals. And I just had like that Ollie Sykes kind of vibe and Alexis on Fire kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed screaming. I would love to get back into it. But like, again, I live in a fucking shoebox of a condo, and I don't want to be screaming because the person next door is probably going to think I'm nuts. I need some moving blankets and just make a fucking spot.
Yeah. We first started out, me and Corey lived in a 300 square foot apartment together.
Okay.
And we recorded everything in it. And the walls were super thin. And there was one night when we were like recording a cover, and like some girl came and knocked on our door, and she was like, "Can you guys like stop making those noises? Like, what? I don't like it. Can you stop, please?" We were like, "Sorry, we'll stop."
You come out in a The Artist Murder shirt. And
Well, I didn't even know what it is. You're like, what the fuck is that? You know, it's just like monster noises down the hall.
Some cat just keeps puking. I don't know what that is.
So I'd say just do it and let him wonder.
All right, good to know. Good to know. I mean, I really want to. I don't take long drives anymore because usually I would like sing along with stuff and that. But like, I haven't done any screaming or anything in a long ass time. But as soon as I get a new place, the housing market here in Canada is just stupid. So we're like interest rates are like basically at 6.5%.
That's about what it is out here too. It's
but like even the cost out here, like where we live, it's just outside of Toronto, and there's still nothing under like 800,000 for a place, and that's for a townhouse that you still pay like $800 a month on condo fees or like maintenance fees. It's stupid. Even our condo here, like my girlfriend bought it, and she bought it for like $226 about 6 or 7 years ago. And, you know, a good rate at like 3%. And we just remortgaged for that. But like we have like 180,000 left on it. So we're waiting for the next like burst because I think it's going to happen soon. And then prices will come down. But man, it's just not a good time for housing right now. So next house for sure. Like I need a backyard. And then I need a place to scream.
Yeah. That's my two things.
Yeah. I've always said, I'm like, man, I need a garage where I can set up my studio so I can just start really breaking shit. I don't know if you've like, if you've seen like a lot of my reactions where like I had hot dogs in my mouth and like just went like absolute dumb on stuff. I had like a flamethrower with like axe and a lighter for a video. Oh yeah. My girlfriend was not happy. She's like, what if you burn the fucking apartment down?
You're like, it's fine. It didn't.
Yeah, like we're okay. It's fine. Why does it smell like shit in here?
You're like, oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be good once that stuff comes down. So with everything going on right now, are you ever think about going back to like doing some Metal Kitchen stuff? I feel like it's been a minute since you've done that kind of content.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, you know, I went through the whole like character arc of being a YouTuber of, you know, I was young, bright, and ready to go and was like super inspired. And then, you know, slowly over the years, you just start hating yourself more and more. And you're just like, this fucking blows. And you're just, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bummer of a story. But it's the story that needed to happen for me. And I had to do a lot of soul searching about, you know, who I was and, you know, what it meant for me as a creator and just as an individual outside of being, you know, this Linzey Rae persona. And I think the consensus that I came to was that YouTube made me fucking miserable. So I don't do it now. I just do the band because that's what makes me happy. And, you know, I think the Linzey Rae era of things was great and it served its purpose, but I have put it to bed. All right. And we are just doing the anchor, and that's the way I like it.
Hey, and even if you do kind of like get influenced by something to make some other content, like it's there. Like even if you did put something out just for fun, like, you know, your fans and everybody that's been around for, you know, that long are gonna understand like, oh yeah, okay, she needed that little burst of Linzey out in her life. So yeah. I totally understand that too. And I think Nick Nocturnal just dropped a video yesterday and it was like labeled "Moving On." And I get that, man. I watched it before I went on stream. We just played like a couple games and stuff. I don't do a lot of game streaming. We played Fall Guys. And my girlfriend loves the game. And I do too. It's fun playing with the community too. So, but I watched it as I was setting up. And just to hear him saying like, you know, a lot of shit has happened in the 8 years that he's done that. And it can be very tiring. And the closeness of like burnout. I understand that. And it's very scary as a content creator. And I think you understand that as well. And doing what you want to be doing, I don't know. I feel like I'm still even finding myself these days.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I do reactions. I don't even know how old I am. I think I'm 33. Yeah, I don't know. Anything after 30, I'm like, I don't know anything anymore. But like even that, like dancing around like an idiot on screen and stuff like that. Like I want to do other stuff, but like I feel like I'm still searching for that. And I think like even doing these podcasts and like just kind of like seeing where people have come from, like yourselves and like this and that. I just think it's valuable. In my day, when I was watching like tour vlogs and stuff, like I love seeing how bands like just connected with their fans, you know, what did they do on tour and stuff like that. So like this is kind of like going back to like my older self of like wanting to know how bands actually do these things and like these stories. So it's really cool. Right. So I mean, it's very respectful in my eyes that, you know, you're putting it to bed. But I think you guys should be focusing on music and stuff like that. You guys have a really cool platform that you're working on. Do you plan on doing vocal covers at least still, or maybe when you have time?
You know, if it works out, sure. You know, again, it's still like we never meant to be YouTubers. We never wanted to be YouTubers. We just kind of got thrown into it. And like my passion lies with making music and doing the anchor. And, you know, if we get inspired to do it, you know, we're not going to say no, but we've let go of like, we have to do this for the sake of the band, you know, and that's what the YouTube felt like for a really, really long time. And it's, you know, I think what's important is that whatever you decide to do, you know, as a content creator, you need to do it because it actually makes you happy, not because you're trying to get something out of it or you're expecting some kind of result. Because you will always be disappointed, you know?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I mean, like, I try to reflect on myself when you say that to see what's going on with my mind these days. But like, I think, I mean, I love doing what I do. Honestly, I have fun making short form content that I do long form content. And I don't know if that's because I get more views with TikToks and Reels right now. Or, you know, like I put out a new band on YouTube and it's like, it gets maybe 500 views to 1,000. And it's like, man, I have so many subs that love my content. Like, why aren't you watching my content? Like, I'm putting out a new fresh band.
Views, bro.
What's that?
Those views will kill you. I said, stop looking at the views.
I know. Oh yeah, the views kill me, man. They are the devil of YouTube. I kid you not. Yeah, it is bad. I mean, like, I love doing it anyway. Like, when I find a good band, it's the comments that really keep me in line with all that stuff. Even just being where I grew up with in the music scene back when I was younger, you know, I was in high school putting earbuds in people's ears and, you know, saying, check out this band I found on MySpace, this and that. Like, I feel like I'm doing that in like just this new age world and getting my face and other bands on their radar. So it's really cool that I get to do that stuff. And yeah, the views can be very discouraging, especially when it is a really good fucking band or a song of some sort. It's like, what happened, algorithm? Like, again, that goes back to just the disaster of being a content creator. And it's still something I got to learn 100%. But it's fun, though. I think it's at the end of the day, it's fun. I like making smaller videos, like that 30-second clip of a breakdown. And seeing people just say like, man, I love your content. You've filled my playlist so fucking much and this and that. And like, I became the black guy and it's like, it's nuts. So
you got to focus on, because that's, you know, you're doing what, you know, with the like sharing music with people and like creating that community, like you are accomplishing that. And like those comments and those people that you're connecting with, like that is what matters. And like, it doesn't matter if it only got 500 views. If somebody found a band out of it and like it meant something to them, like good job, you know, like it's so hard because we try to like quantify like our success through numbers and likes and, you know, and that's just like the nature of social media. And like, you forget like the whole reason why you started, you know, and it seems like you still have a lot of intention with what you're doing. And, you know, I'm really grateful to hear that you're having those moments of like, cool, like I am doing what I set out to do, and like that's great.
Yeah, and honestly, it didn't even start off that way, if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I didn't start doing this to fuck bitches and make money, but like, and yeah, I just wanted to catch up on music. I think that was the biggest thing. Like in my early 20s, I grinded. I built businesses. I used to run a financial firm, my own print business, my own window tinting business. And I was a very entrepreneur since like 16, doing photos, graphic design, everything. So it's just really cool. And like what really came from it for me was like legit, like just seeing DMs from people saying like, man, I'm in a tough place right now and your videos just make my fucking day. Like I screenshot like all of those and I send it to my girlfriend when I see them and I'm like, this is why we're doing this. Like as much as it's nice, you know, we're making a couple bucks here and there with merch and that, and it's cool seeing like our stuff out there when we go to shows, and it's evolving into something more community wise than it is to being like about the views and stuff. I mean, they are nice to have the views and viral videos, but honestly, I think it's very, I guess the word is detrimental, I guess. Like, it's just, it's very bad on somebody. Like, I got that 6 million view video and it's like, what happened to my other videos? So it fucks with you.
It does, yeah. You know, and that was the thing that was hard with the YouTube, is that like, we had this like, you know, time period of virality, and then we were just constantly chasing that, and we never really quite hit that again. And it's just like so much of your self-worth is like wrapped up in like hitting those numbers and being viral, and you know, and it doesn't matter. Like, it's so stupid that like you feel like shit because your YouTube video didn't get views. Like, that's such a dumb thing to feel sad about.
It really is. I hate it.
It doesn't matter on the internet. Like, your self-worth is not decided by the internet, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. We let it be, but it shouldn't be.
Right.
No, it's awesome. Linzey, I really appreciate your time today and just telling your story about the anchor and everything, your side of the story, where you came from, and the enjoyment that you get out of just bringing new music to people and building that community. I know we're clocking in at about like an hour and 20 minutes-ish here. I'll kind of wrap it up with this, but guys, if you're listening still to this, please go check out Linzey's and the Anchor's song. I erased it. What was the name of it? Let It Go or something? Not Let It Go.
Let It Go.
Yeah, we'll finish it off with that, with a vocal cover of Let It Go from Linzey.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the name of it again?
Let Down.
That's what it was. Yeah, I'll be checking it out. I'll make a reaction on it. I'm running low for time as well. I got to pick up my girlfriend from work in a couple minutes too. So I would love to like react to it with you. I know we're both busy, but I will definitely plug the shit out of that video to say go watch this this podcast. And I'm so excited to check out what you guys have on it. So any last words, any plugs or anything you want to say to anybody?
Thanks for being you, and keep on keeping.
Keep on keeping.
That's what I gotta say.
No, I love it. Simple, straight to the point. And yeah, thank you, Linzey, so much. Guys, again, the Anchor. Go check them out if you don't know who they are. Go check out Linzey's videos, her vocal covers, the Metal Kitchen series that she has. Lots of fun content on there. She is wonderful. Linzey, I had a great time talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. Hell yeah. We got to do it again soon.
Wait.
All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.